Nick, you had the infamous crash out that led to your and Jeremy's beef about not drafting the edge rusher. The Lions got one. Came a little later than a lot of people wanted. How you feeling about it?
I mean, I don't know how he fell so far, to be honest.
Yeah, I was going to say, you got to like it.
Production, fellas. I like the player, and I like the production. I mean, obviously, it was Boise State, so it's not like he's going up against SEC and Big Ten talent every night. But this is what you want to see out of a guy that's playing for Boise State. It's the big-time production, and he also had production when he played against high-level competition, so that stands out to me. I believe he had over a sack in the playoff game against Penn State, if I'm not mistaken. I love to see this production out of the late-round defensive end.
You heard Scott
There's 3 of them breaking laptops.
Yeah, God damn it, 2 are crashing out. You heard Scott say that the Lions might have ran into one here.
Listen,
and
man.
it's you look at, like, I'm telling you, obviously we all saw the viral clip that I made a fire edit on, by the way.
Shout out.
Nice.
Corey, go show that to him, Corey. It's on my Instagram. I made a sick edit of your boy. But you saw that, and that is, I die on the field for you, Coach. I die for you, Dave. Like, that is the embodiment of a day. If you told me that somebody said that in an interview for the Lions, I would have told you they're getting drafted. And then the video that Scott was talking about of him at the combine, firing up the coach, like, let's go to the coach. He's at the fucking combine. He's not even playing. It's just who he is, how he's wired. Absolute Dan Campbell guy. Like Nick, the production at Boise State was there. You saw the sack numbers and the tackle for loss numbers always up. He makes plays. You bring him in here. He's going to have a lot to learn early, but he's only been playing football for 5 years, man.
Voted team captain by his teammates.
That is the type of guy that this regime likes. That is the type of guy that Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes like to bring in. And it's worked so far. Like, they've been doing pretty good. Remember, all of the team what was the Jet Campbell draft? Didn't we draft like 4 team captains?
Yeah.
Like, they like these guys.
Team captain. Yeah. That's what Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell look for. They look for the intense FBI football guys. As a matter of fact, I was watching Ahmed's interview with Rich Eisen before the draft even happened. After he kind of, spazzed out on the defensive line coach from the Ravens. And he talked about it.
Shit, dude.
Like, he was talking about the teams he visited with. And as soon as he said the Lions, Rich Eisen was like, whoa,
Yeah.
you and Dan Campbell. He was freaking out about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was right. He said, I love that you fly on a wall for your and Dan Campbell's conversation. And, like, that's exactly what we're looking for. I think his athletic background just proves, like, he can learn. I think Scott talking about the stance thing, I like to know that. There's room for growth.
Yes.
Like what you saw out of him. It's obvious as hell, by the way, too. He's only been playing football for 5 years. To be doing it at this level, that productive, it's honestly insane. So there's room for growth on top of that. He's super strong. And it's exactly what the Detroit Lions look for, the defensive end. I told you guys time and time again. I'm talking about the chat, not you guys, because I'd say it to you guys too. Obviously, you hear it when I say these.
245, 230.
Not going to happen.
No.
We're looking for 260 plus. Guys have put somebody on their ass. That's exactly what they got.
You got one. You got a thick boy out there.
And one that's dedicated to the craft, too. Like, it's dying on the field.
And he's the ultimate Dan Campbell guy. Like, I feel like every year we're like, wow, such a fucking Dan Campbell guy. Like,
and a guy that's that locked in and dedicated to it, learning from Aiden Hutchinson, and Casey Rogers.
I honestly don't know how he felt that. Like, obviously he was not going to be like a first round pick or anything like that. But the production that he had, I guess people are just worried that he hadn't played football for very long. But you give a guy like that to Casey Rogers, who can mold him into what he wants and mold him into a top tier pass rusher in this league. Now, I don't know if he'll ever be that. I don't know if he'll ever be a 10 sack a year guy.
But collapse in the pocket, he damn sure could do
He's
right now.
He's going to be able to do that.
Right now, I believe he could do that.
He's going to be able to do that.
All right. So are you guys confident to put money on it that this will be a better pick than why am I blanking on his name?
James Houston.
My guy. Yes, James Houston. Thank you.
Yes. I think it's more than what they're looking for, yeah. I think he'll have a longer tenure of the Lions just based on, like, James Houston, Bendy, get to the quarterback. But in terms of, like, playing your assignment, doing your effing job, as Bill Belichick would say, this is the guy. Like, this is to a T almost. And there's still room to grow. And again, I think right now you can throw him in and he'll be able to collapse the pocket.
Yeah.
Regardless of stance, regardless of all that. I think just the strength, just the body technique. When you do – that's why I love wrestling on the American side, where you get a lot of guys coming, offensive linemen, linebackers, even defensive linemen. They got a wrestling background. I love it.
Yeah.
You know how to maneuver somebody's body against their will. That's what you want to do in the trenches, right? This guy, judo, which is even more maneuvering a body than wrestling, because it's literally about altering somebody's weight against them. I think this is one you can have a little bit of high hopes on. I'm not talking about top 10 guy, like you said, but in terms of guy coming in, being productive right away, stepping in and giving you something, I think Achman could do it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you get a starter in the 6th round, you fucking nailed it.
And
you
we've
know?
seen him do it before. So,
Yep.
like, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Obviously, I wanted an edge rusher early. I did. You didn't get one, but I really like all the guys they
Yeah.
drafted. I'm not going to sit here and act like these guys aren't football players. These guys aren't very good and highly touted prospects, a vast majority of them that have elite traits and elite production,
Yeah.
except for obviously Tesla, but I don't know, man.
34 on the bench, his brother said.
Yeah.
His brother says, I'll never show my face in Detroit. My brother isn't him, in all caps.
Wow.
Listen, the way he carries himself, the way he's had to maneuver just life,
Easy
coming
guy to
to a
root
foreign
for.
country, not be able to even speak English.
Easy guy to root for.
He's got to root for, but also like just the
Mental fortitude to
Yes.
withstand and to go out there and make a name for yourself and thrive at what you're doing.
to not know what the NFL is.
Yeah.
From whenever you had that conversation to his brother about Aaron Donald to becoming an NFL player.
Yeah.
There's guys that dream about that their entire life. There's guys that you have the Tiger dads trying to train their kids to become the next Aaron Donald. To make it further than those guys in 5 years, insanity. Shout out to Achman, congratulations to him. Shout out to Corey. Hopefully get those guys both on the show. I'd love to talk to Corey as well, who got his brother into football. Nick, I know you want to say something.
Yeah,
real
in
quick.
his last college game against Penn State, he had 1 sack and 3 TFLs. When we
That's
talk
what I'm
about
saying,
production,
man.
this guy just puts up numbers. I'm all in for it. It'd be definitely this late in the draft to get a guy that has a potential high impact on your team. I'd love to hear it. I just kind of wanted your guys' thoughts to why maybe he did drop so far.
I think it's because obviously he's not, he's
It's
not
Mountain West.
6'6". He's not this
Yeah.
giant, intimidating presence at edge. It is Mountain West, and it's the lack of time playing football. That scares people. You've only played football for 5 years.
Yeah.
That's not something that a lot of NFL teams are willing to risk a pick on. But obviously, he's exactly what the Detroit Lions want in a player with who he is, and like you said, the production is there. You can't argue that. You can't argue that he was an extremely productive pass rusher at Boise State. So I'm excited for it.
For me, it's like a bit more of a trades conversation. Like, he didn't have the longest arms. He wasn't 6'6". He didn't have like elite bend. But again, as we've said a million times, I've only playing football 5 years to have that type of production at that level. Like, I know it's not SEC football, but it's still collegiate football. Those guys were in the playoff this year, right? So it's like, to have that type of production without that type of experience is, I think that shines through, and that's probably why I didn't see him at the top of the class. And again, not everybody wants the 260 guys in the collapse the pocket.
Yep.
Some people want guys that can bend and get after the quarterback. The Detroit Lions, we want a specific guy to do your job so we can play the run and then force the quarterback out of the pocket. That's what we got right here. But